I talk about the psychic energy. I talk about that energy that deals with the control of your mind and body. Your mind is crucial to everything happening. They talk about the fact that if you believe it, then you can achieve it. So we're talking about making sure that your mind is centered and focused in everything that you say and that you do. Martial arts is about not just direct action, but misdirect action. And so if somebody is in front of you and you're working against them, you have to make sure that you know you can send them in a particular place, make them act and react differently based upon what you do, what you project for that particular person. Now, a lot of you may remember when Alain New had come here a couple of years ago when he was filming one of his 4 television specials, soon to be 5. And he was here and he demonstrated these different movements and control of objects as well as directing minds. You know, it was, as I watched him, progress, it was at one moment when he was playing that I remembered, the feeling. Now I go back, I remember the feeling. I just remember that here he was at 5 years old playing this violin, doing the little bitty sketches and little things that happened. But I remember, like, I always wanted to do something with him, with martial arts, with that violin, with that touch. Because, the violin and the music is strings of your heart. And you can feel it in it, it goes there. And I always wanted to do something with him. Now, we did something once before. I love this song. It's called Broken Sorrow by Nothing But Strings. And these young men were performing in New York City, in the subways. And they went from the subways of New York City into Madison Square Garden. And so, it just reminds me of how important it is, like to practice and to perfect your craft, to perfect the things that you really want to accomplish. You spend the time doing it over and over with a passion. And that's what they did. Now for me, I'm still working and trying to, get some things together, especially with him, because, he's still the teenager learning and growing and trying to find his own path. But I have something that I really want to do even better than that. Clearly, better still. I want to look for something better that I want to do with him, with that violin, because isn't it a beautiful instrument? And can you feel it? Can you see it and sense it? I'm saying that it's going to work. It really is. It's going to work. And I know my faith and love in him is that he's going to be able to accomplish, his goals. But I want him to do that a little bit for me too. I want that part when I get to work with him. And I'm looking for that. I'm looking for a grand stage. We have so many children who have so many different talents. They do so many different things. And each one of them is so special. And I'm telling you, all we have to do is continue to encourage them and to work with them. Because every child is very special. What we have to do is recognize the gifts that they have, no matter what it is, and then we encourage and push them to achieve their best. We have in the academy, this conglomerate of great martial artists, we have how many hundreds of years of combined knowledge and talent? It's really something. It really is. And my goal has been, in terms of being an ambassador for martial arts, to be the person who links things in and together. I'm looking at Infandishi Walker, who, with his martial arts skill and ability, from so many years back in the 70s, how he's reaching out to students and people in his classes where he teaches in universities, and how he is imparting that educational information, but he also imparts martial arts wisdom when he's doing that as well. Then, and I'm just doing it down the line, I'm looking at Infandishi Bakari, who, after this teenager being involved in martial arts and the things that he has done, and to travel, to also study with other teachers, to get the information and to pull it in, and then to have the consciousness and the dedication to stay there and say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do to keep, African culture alive as well, and do that. And excuse me, if I say that, then I have to always mention the fact that, look, Infandishi Walker, he travels every year. He goes back to Africa every year. Every year he goes back there to help bring computers and science. I mean, he brings information as well as material. He brings these things to the people there so that they can utilize it. And then you're talking about, wow. So Malanga Youssef, with his school out in Upper Marlboro, this is a man now who is dedicated to teaching his children, teaching the adults that come to class. He makes sure that he gives them and provides them the best instruction, providing them with other people to come in as well, to learn and to gather the information. He's traveled to China. He's done all of that, but he has also been centered, and his consciousness has been, hey, I know who I am, I know what I'm supposed to do to make sure that I get the job done. Serving my community. And you have to serve your community. You have to serve the constituencies, the people who are there. But we all do in so many different ways. Malanga Gale, who has traveled around the countries, around the world as well, he's there as this supportive instructor who helps to get the information, retain it, share it as a positive instructor and a positive role model. I look at it, and I'm going down the list in this one way. I'm looking at Mfundi Akinyele. This man who has been with me, I think it says 1989 on the wall. But he's been there studying the martial arts with me, but then he also made sure that what he got from me, he was able to extrapolate on it, build on it, and so now he is a positive teacher and role model, not just in the academy, which obviously is fantastic, but we're talking about somebody who is doing that in the community. So being the teacher, the educational teacher that he is, he's teaching in the school system, working with young minds to mold and develop them so that they can achieve their best. So that's what he's doing. But he also has made sure that he has expanded his world knowledge. Because he's traveled. He's traveled from, where is it? Well, to Saudi Arabia, to Japan, to Uganda just recently, and a whole bunch of other places that probably he can't even tell people because he's been so busy trying to work and get it done and doesn't want to worry his wife either. So, but it's just that, you're looking at somebody who's committed to doing that. And that's there. I say, Funi Ejide, I always say this is my daughter, who God, does she fuss at me. And you can't do this, you can't do that, and you have to do this, and you have to. I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to go there, right? Well, it's your wife, you know. It's really interesting because I remember that movement, that energy, that's absolutely necessary. I can't stop. I got to keep going. So it is that kind of thing that's really important because that's what she does. Her practice, her work, and then surprise me. So she surprised me like, oh, I'm gonna bring out this old form from like 1993. Here this form is. I'm like, yeah, like look at that. So she's pulling that in, and she keeps the day-to-day operations going, and provides all of the information. And I'm saying that because as I'm talking about everybody with Fundi Obasanjo, who had come to the academy, learning these martial arts, getting involved in that, and he, like other people, all of a sudden got swept up into the culture, into the real understanding about like what I'm really trying to accomplish in terms of us being better people that serve humanity. So he got that part. And so his study into the African religion as well, Infelicia Walker's understanding of that is phenomenal as well. So that's not